Hey everybody, before we get into this ranking of everything that came out from Marvel in 2021, we want to hear your rankings. Everything from best to worst. Be cordial, be kind, but we do care about your thoughts. Give us a list, give us your details, give us your critiques and positives, and if you do so, we'll be sure to give you a like in the comments. Now let's get into the rankings of all the Marvel stuff we got in 2021. So this is my list. It's first and foremost my list, so guess what? You're not always going to agree with me. There's some things that I liked more that other people didn't really care for, and I'm gonna rank it the way that I think it seems and deems fit. So coming in at number 9 is the What If series, mainly because I'm just not a huge animated series guy, and I felt like there was a lot of episodes here that really fell flat for me. Don't get me wrong, I really enjoyed the Doctor Strange episode, and that almost carried it to like an 8th place spot, but at the end of the day, with the Party Thor episode and so many Ant-Man little narratives, I just was left bored at times, and although there's gonna be a second season, I'm sure they can do more, it just kind of felt like meh. I wouldn't go back to it, wouldn't watch it again, I wouldn't see it again, even with the potential tie-in with this Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. Coming in at number 8 is Eternals. I'm just gonna be honest, this just didn't land a plane for me. I think when it comes to like having an award-winning director and having so many prestigious actors and actresses, for it to just feel like nothing. I know Marvel was taking a pretty big deviation from the standard Marvel movie, but it just didn't land the plane, and everything that you see on Rotten Tomatoes kind of echoes that. The audience just didn't really vibe with it. It felt too long, the villains felt forgettable, and what was supposed to be an out-of-this-world, interstellar, cosmic, celestial experience ended up just being this hodgepodgey, sad attempt at trying to be super inclusive about everything, which we want diversity, but this just felt a little forced. Coming in at number 7 is Black Widow. I'm gonna be honest, Black Widow just was a spy movie that had Black Widow in it. It had a forgettable villain, it had a really forgettable plot. Yelena is probably the best thing that came out of this film, and although I do like having Natasha Romanoff take the screen once again, the movie just getting pushed back so much, it felt out of place with everything that was coming out. We were past this loss of Black Widow. If it came out maybe when it was supposed to, it probably would have had a better taste in my mouth, but overall it was a forgettable experience. Action, man, the breaking of the nose to get the pheromones to smell so you can punch the dude, that just doesn't do it for me. I did like seeing David Harbour's portrayal of the Red Guardian, so that was fun. Coming in at number 6 is the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. This is just a forgettable show. Don't get me wrong, I thought Sam Wilson and the Winter Soldier's dynamic was interesting and somewhat like fun to watch, and there's some cool action here, and I actually like the super serum taking over the guy who becomes King. His name's escaping me. At the end of the day, the villains just were nothing. They just weren't interesting. We saw the twists and turns. There wasn't anything super surprising, and it's just, as many of the ones in this early of the list, it's just forgettable. I'm never going to return to it. I don't ever care to see it again. The best part is when Sam Wilson gets the Captain America outfit. Now, number 5 is probably going to surprise you guys because many of you maybe even have this higher in your list, but I'm going to put Loki at number 5. If I was just ranking Loki for the first episode, it would be close to number 1, if not number 2, because I really liked the Mobius and Loki and good cop, bad cop, time, variant authority storyline, and they just so deviate from that so quickly, so early on, that it goes on a totally different venture with Sylvie. And then even with Sylvie, there's this whole stall out in episode 3, only to go to 4 and 5 being fairly interesting, and then a big expositional episode in the 6th episode, which was just a letdown. Loki was the one that kind of opened the multiverse, breaks everything, introduces Kang the Conqueror, and it should feel more grandiose. And don't get me wrong, at the time I was pretty excited about every episode, but then when it was all said and done, I look back, I was like, what happened here? A lot of conjecture, a lot of talking, not too much of the interesting. And then what was really well set up at the beginning, that emotion, that conviction from Tom Hiddleston just gets lost along the way. I just thought Loki, it petered out towards the end. It didn't carry its weight the whole way through. That being said, that brings me to my number 4 ranking, and I am actually going to put Hawkeye there. My wife and I actually really enjoyed Hawkeye. I don't know if it's just because there's the Christmas seasonality of it. It didn't try to be too big. It didn't try to be something more complex and mind-bending like Loki or WandaVision. In fact, Hawkeye stayed in its lane. It knew what it was about. It's Hawkeye. He shoots arrows, and there's this gal, Kate Bishop, she shoots arrows. And you know what? It's pretty freaking cool. The humor was lighthearted. It was a cute, heartwarming story. It had a couple little twists and turns that maybe you saw, maybe you didn't. Brought in Kingpin, brought in Echo, some fun characters we're gonna have in the MCU, and at the end of the day, I walked away from the show completely satisfied. Every time I came to watch an episode, I enjoyed it, walked away from it, came back to it, enjoyed it, walked away from it, same deal. Hawkeye was a seasonal favorite for me, and it's maybe even a show that I would return to. Now we'll get into our heavy hitters. Coming in at number 3 is Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi opened up the mystic world and really made its stake in the MCU. I cannot wait to see more of Shang-Chi. I can't wait to see more of this universe. It brought in dragons and mystical creatures, and the CGI and fights were incredible. Just the way they did everything was just so colorful and invigorating, and it was the deviation that Eternals attempted and failed at. Shang-Chi delivered, and it was a really great film. Coming in at number 2 for me is WandaVision. I loved what WandaVision did. I loved what it tried to do. I felt like its complexity and so intricately different from anything we've seen just sets it apart from any show out there. Now, you couldn't make a show like this without having all the back weight that it has from the previous MCU stuff. I hated when people said they left in the first 2 episodes because they didn't get it. That was the whole point. It was perplexing, but with purpose. It showed the coping of grief in a chaos, magic, mystical way. And then it gave us a fulfilling, epic clash between Captain Ham's Agatha and Wanda's Scarlet Witch, giving us the Scarlet Witch uniform and getting the Vision, White Vision, all that spectral vision, whatever you want to call them. It was one of those, it's the only show of Disney that produced when the episode ended, I was like, no, I need more. And then we had some with Wu, Captain Rambo, some Darcy, and some other favorites. It just was ultimately a really great time. That brings me to number 1, and this is going to come at no surprise to anybody. I don't want to try to be clever here. I'm not going to try to be like, oh, well, maybe something else was number 1. No, SpiderMan No Way Home was far and away number 1. Let's be honest, they delivered on all fronts. The villains were awesome and well done. I've never seen Green Goblin feel more powerful, and Doc Ock was incredible to have Alfred Molina back, and then also him helping Spider-Man in the end. And when I say Spider-Man, I do mean Spider-Man. We had Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire, and Tom Holland all in the same film. The movie was not just fan service. It had depth. It had weight. Seeing Aunt May go and give that last little phrase of, with great power is great responsibility. Seeing Peter develop into the man and the hero that he has to become, realizing the cost of his decision would cost him his friends, his future, but he decides to do so anyways. And then the ending when he chooses to let his friends live their lives, go to MIT, and he takes his apartment and becomes Spider-Man. It's really something to behold. Well, guys, thank you so much for watching our rankings. Do you agree with us? Do you think we're way out of line? Well, it's your prerogative to disagree with us. Let us know your rankings in the comments below. And, well, like I said, if you do so, we'll be sure to give you a like. Until next time, guys, you can like, subscribe, and notifications because it does help us here at the channel. Thank you so much for watching.